Hello, our friends. Take two, guys.
Yay, take two.
Yeah. We just got done doing this video, which we're doing over. And it was like the recorder got turned off, the OBS, which doesn't surprise us because it's par for the course. We watched apparently holographic Melania getting off a plane. That was really strange. We see a lot of crazy things going on. You see these photos where people are saying, did HRC grow or shrink? Or did Bill grow? Well, men don't usually grow in their 70s. What's really going on here? Is that even HRC?
I know, it doesn't look like her hardly at all, but they're portraying it to be her.
Well, I don't know. When you do clones, do they all come out exactly the same size? Do you remember Dolly the sheep?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Strange. Very strange. Clones, holographic reality. Here we have, now you don't see him. Well, wait a minute. Who was that? Well, that was actually Mr. O.
Mm-hmm.
And he's there. And then all of a sudden there's a little glitch. And then he's not there. So what's going on here? And things can be doctored, without a doubt. There's so much of that going on. Our whole reality's being doctored. It's crazy right now. So we see Texas file its first major lawsuit against the B administration, and this has to do with illegal immigration. As we know, it seems like so many things have done a complete 180 in just a couple of days' time. And yet, at the same time, there's some things that haven't changed at all.
I know, it's just so much going on, but everything's still in the same rut, it feels.
Do you guys remember there was a report that came out from the White House talking about the dangers of the grid, how it could be taken out by different things, and how important it is to keep that grid up.
Yep.
Well, you guys can see what this title is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, somebody else has their fingers back inside the grid again.
Yep.
Not sure. I don't feel good about that. That's just me.
No, out of all the things that are going on, this was the one that really put a knot in my stomach.
It certainly did, so here we go again. And so the flock of seagulls country, as this reloads, they're actually saying that Bitcoin is behind their blackouts. They're suspicious that Bitcoin is behind their blackouts and other issues going on. And this made me wonder, well, does it have to do with the great RESET? Because Iran is not controlled by, the same money system, so to speak, As we have talked about before, there's a certain color shield, family that when there's not control over the monetary system, these countries seem to have mysterious issues going on.
They sure do. I mean, and right now, things seem just so dark right now.
It does. And here you have a military convoy of over 40 U.S. vehicles seen entering Iraq. And then we also have 5 different strikes on U.S. vehicles in the same country. And we talked about this area here, Iraq and Syria, is dangerous. It's really dangerous. It's just such a mess. Things can explode at any moment. And not just there, we have Libya still in play as well. And don't forget that the most proven oil reserves in Africa or in Libya and in South America or in Venezuela. Is there any wonder why things happen?
No, there's not. But I'm looking at this thinking, there's been a bunch of paperwork signed by Mr. B, but then here nobody skips a beat. So it tells me something else is definitely in charge.
Yeah, well, that ultimately is the case. Russian mercenaries are digging a super trench in the desert out there. As, perhaps the biggest battles are still ahead in that area right now, as we're talking about controlling resources, but it's much bigger than that too. And this is about Russia preparing for a revolt Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. As we know, you have two countries with presidents for life, and Russia's one of them. And they are preparing for protests, though, in support of the leader of the hardcore pro-Western opposition, Alexei Navalny. After his return to Moscow, all the actions of his supporters resemble a staged show. Ah, such is life. It's all one big show, guys. You know, whether it's WWE or whether it's something off of Broadway, any way you look at it, it's definitely a show.
It totally, totally is.
And there's some things that just immediately make you say, what? And this was one of them. And this is coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. Marine Corps books all 966 rooms at the Hyatt Regency in downtown Jacksonville. So if they're throwing 3 or 4 basically recruits, because these are people that are going to be entering service, they're showing up. That's like 3,000-4,000 soldiers you could have in this one location.
Well, yeah, if you believe what they're telling you.
And that's for 5 months.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's huge. That's really weird. We have not seen that before, and nobody that I've seen talk about that story has ever seen anything like that before. Military.com says it's because of quarantine. So they want to quarantine them there before allowing them on base. Okay, I guess.
It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, something seems really weird. And then, of course, there's some people saying, well, of course, Florida. Look who lives in Florida. And that's going to be the new capital. So, we'll see. There's also, out of the official White House YT channel, a video that has somebody's voice, which sounds a lot like HB, if you know what we mean. Basically talking about copping a plea. And it's weird when you think about it, because that's either, well, any way you look at it, it's real or it's fake. But how could it get on there? How could it get on the official channel? But then, of course, we had the Russia hack, right? We had the whole Russia hack thing. So who knows?
Well, there's so many people that aren't very happy with the way things are going.
And we see 26,000 guard troops in D.C. did not face a single inauguration security threat. So says the top general. This is also at military.com. So, that really turned out to be a lot that didn't manifest into anything. And think about the fears and all the talk about, everything that's going to happen all over the country. And then it didn't happen.
Right. No, it didn't happen. And actually, I'm really glad that it didn't happen, because I don't want to see people traumatized into change into a new system, because that would lower the collective's vibration, and that's not something we want. So I'm really grateful that everybody was safe. And I do feel like on this channel, when you guys sit and send out energy for a peaceful outcome or a better outcome, I believe you're doing it. Thank you.
Well, you had actually gotten from the guides that the impact was great, especially with the tuning and the prayer. And I know that it shows that it only has like 1,900 or 2,000 views, which honestly I don't believe at all. Because, when the other smaller channels, have had views like 15,000, and we only been on those other channels for like a year, something doesn't add up right. It doesn't add up right at all. So, things are just an illusion in this reality. It's a total illusion that people are catching on to. As we're saying, it's all part of this show that's being unfolded in front of our very eyes.
Most definitely.
And over here on military.com, thousands of troops are going to remain in D.C. until mid-March. Now, of course, March 6th is a date a lot of people are pointing to and saying, watch, watch, watch. And, I've talked at length about what I think is one of the most dangerous entities in the world, and that's that of a corporation. And then a lot of people have been talking about 1871, corporation, gone. Well, we'll see, because these type of things have come and gone before so many times in the past, and get people to ecstatic highs, and then they crash down to horrible lows when things don't manifest, or when something manifests in the reverse direction. then it's more that WTF moment, And that's exactly what's been going on. It's an emotional play going on. We have the ability to be co-creators in our reality. But again, there's 7.7 billion humans on this planet, and there's other powers that be that are not human, maybe not even alive, quote unquote, but having a big impact on this reality that we see before us. And Governor Greg Abbott of Texas has instructed the return of the Texas National Guard to their state. So, is this, remember the A moment? It feels like it could be. I think there's going to be a lot more coming around with this. Interesting, too, I saw a lot of, we naturally watch a lot of videos about best places and relocation and stuff. But when you look at the real estate stats, people like in southwestern Florida, the houses aren't even lasting like a day or two. They're being snatched up. People are moving to Florida and Texas in droves and to some other nice sunshine, warm places. But I think it's more than just the warmth that's going on.
Well, it's to get out of that political chaos.
Yeah, because we've talked to so many people all over the world on a daily basis and all over the country. And so talking to one that was in California, went to Texas, said, oh my God, it's like life is kind of normal here. Nothing has really changed too much. And yet in California, things had changed where they were. We've experienced it too. We've been in Flagstaff and it was definitely changed. One person in Trader Joe's, one person out. And then we were in a tiny little hole-in-the-wall town, and we walked into a restaurant, with a pool table, and because we hadn't played pool in months. And what do we see? Everybody looks at us like we're freaks because we had, our faces covered. And nobody in the entire place had their face covered. None.
Right. I think there's those little pockets out there where things are still normalized.
For sure. And so, we're watching everything closely, and going to see if Texas is going to lead the way in some ways, which I wouldn't be surprised. Very strong state, strong-willed state, and very able to stand on its own in many ways.
I think so. They're pretty strong.
So, guys, thanks for being part of the family. Make sure you are subscribed. And before we go, this is what we actually started the other one with, was a tuning, because Cindy got from the guides that was extremely effective, and it did open up a lot of people's crown chakras so they could actually receive info and messages, be in contact with Source, Prime Creator, God, the angelic realm. And it was of great benefit. So we're going to do that before we go. And we do want to thank everybody for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon.
Thank you. Here we go. Think of yourself in a very positive manner. We need that picture in your mind, okay?
See yourself free, making your own decisions, living in a free world, and you're full of health and vigor and positivity.
Here we go.
As always, guys, God bless. Much love. Namaste.
Namaste.